Last night, Portugal scored 9 goals and qualified for the World Cup. But Cristiano Ronaldo might not play a single minute of it. Italy needed 9 goals to qualify. They scored 1 and lost 4-1. But the real story? A player who completed a hat-trick in injury time to break an entire nation's heart. Subscribe to Cyberboot right now, because what happened last night wasn't just about goals. It was about dreams being made and destroyed in the cruelest ways possible. This is going to blow your mind. Let's go. Welcome back to Cyberboot, where we break down football's most dramatic nights with the depth they deserve. Last night was insane. World Cup qualifying delivered 3 matches that had everything: goals, drama, heartbreak, history. And one player who might have just secured his place in football folklore with the most clutch hat-trick you'll ever see. Portugal demolished Armenia 9-1. Hat-tricks from Bruno Fernandes and João Neves. Qualification secured. But there's a massive problem involving Ronaldo that could ruin everything. Norway beat Italy 4-1. Erling Haaland scored twice in 2 minutes. Italy's World Cup dream shattered again. And Ireland versus Hungary. That match had a finale so dramatic, so heartbreaking, that I still can't believe it actually happened. By the end of this video, you'll understand why last night will be remembered for years. Let's break it down. Let's start with Portugal, because on paper this was perfect. Portugal 9, Armenia 1. Total domination. Bruno Fernandes, hat-trick. João Neves, hat-trick. Goals flying in from everywhere, the kind of performance that makes qualification look easy. And with that win, Portugal secured their place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. No playoffs, no drama, straight through. The fans are celebrating, the players are celebrating. Portugal is back on the biggest stage. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Remember Cristiano Ronaldo's red card from the previous match? The brutal elbow, the straight dismissal. The 3-match ban that was hanging over his head. Well, that ban has been confirmed. Ronaldo will miss Portugal's first 2 World Cup matches. Now here's why this is terrifying for Portugal and Ronaldo fans. If Portugal loses both of those opening matches, they could be eliminated from the group stage. And Ronaldo, he'll watch his final World Cup end without ever stepping on the pitch. Think about that. Portugal qualifies. Ronaldo is banned, they lose 2 games, and he's out of a 6 or 7 game tournament without playing a single minute. After everything he said last week, dismissing the World Cup as just 6 games and calling it unfair, this would be the cruelest irony imaginable. So yes, Portugal qualified. But Ronaldo's World Cup dream is hanging by a thread. Now let's talk about the other side of last night, the heartbreak, the devastation. Italy needed to beat Norway by 9 goals to qualify automatically. I explained this scenario in my previous video. It was mathematically brutal, almost impossible. But Italian fans were hoping, praying for a miracle. Maybe Norway would collapse. Maybe Italy would score early and the floodgates would open. The match starts. And within minutes, it's clear this isn't happening. Italy scores 1-0. Okay, they need 8 more. Can they do it? Then Erling Haaland steps up. 64th minute, Haaland scores 1-1. Italy's dream takes a massive hit. 66th minute, 2 minutes later, Haaland scores again, 2-1. Norway. The stadium goes silent. Italian fans watching at home are in shock. Their impossible task just became completely impossible. Norway scores 2 more. Final score, Norway 4, Italy 1. And just like that, Italy's World Cup qualification is over. They finish second in the group and head to the playoffs. Again, let me remind you, Italy missed the 2018 World Cup. They missed the 2022 World Cup. Both times they lost in the playoffs. And now, they're heading back to that same brutal format. For a 4-time World Cup champion, this is humiliating. This is a crisis. But here's the twist that makes this even more painful for Italy. Norway just qualified for their first World Cup since 1998. 26 years. And the reason? One man. Erling Haaland. Haaland, who's been unstoppable at Manchester City, just dragged his country to the World Cup. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Clinical, ruthless, legendary. This will be Haaland's first World Cup. At 24 years old, he's already one of the best strikers in the world. And now he gets to prove it on the biggest stage. Meanwhile, Italy, with all their history, all their tradition, are left watching from the sidelines. Again. Here's my first question for you. Do you think Italy will ever recover from missing 3 consecutive World Cups? Or is this the end of an era? Drop your answer in the comments. Alright, now we get to the match that had me on the edge of my seat. The match nobody expected to be this dramatic. Ireland versus Hungary. World Cup qualification on the line. For most of the match, Hungary were in control. They were leading 2-1 at the 80th minute. They had more possession, more shots on target, more attempts. Everything pointed to a Hungary victory. Irish fans were preparing for disappointment, another failed campaign, another what-if moment. But then, Troy Parrott happened. 80th minute, Parrott scores, 2-2, game on. Suddenly, Ireland have life. The crowd is roaring, Hungary are rattled, but there's barely any time left. Surely this ends in a draw, right? Wrong. Injury time, 90 plus 6 minutes. The referee is about to blow the whistle. This is the last moment of the match. The ball comes to Troy Parrott. One chance, one moment, one opportunity to be a hero. He takes it. Goal, 3-2 Ireland. The stadium explodes. Parrott rips off his shirt. His teammates mob him. The fans are in tears. This is history. Troy Parrott just completed a hat-trick in injury time to qualify Ireland for the World Cup playoffs. The kind of moment that players dream about. The kind of moment that defines careers. But here's the part that makes this so brutal. Hungary dominated that match. They had 55% possession. They had more shots, more chances. They were the better team for 80 minutes. And they lost, in the cruelest way possible. A hat-trick completed in the 96th minute. Their World Cup dream shattered in an instant. Hungarian players collapsed on the pitch. Some were crying. Fans sat in stunned silence. This is the heartbreak side of football that nobody talks about enough. One team's miracle is another team's nightmare. And for Hungary, this will haunt them for years. Here's my second question for you. Have you ever seen a more dramatic hat-trick than Troy Parrott's? Can you think of a goal scored at a more clutch moment? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what Cyberboot's audience remembers. So let's step back and look at the bigger picture, because last night wasn't just about 3 matches. It was about legacy. Portugal qualified, but Ronaldo's World Cup participation is in serious doubt. If they lose their first 2 games while he's banned, his final World Cup ends before it begins. The man who dismissed the tournament as unfair might not even get to play in it. Italy's crisis deepens. 3 consecutive World Cups missed or at risk. A footballing giant reduced to playoff desperation. And Haaland, the man who destroyed their dream, becomes Norway's hero. His first World Cup, Norway's first since 1998. And Troy Parrott? He just wrote himself into Irish football folklore. A hat-trick in injury time. A nation's dreams kept alive by one magical moment. Last night proved something we often forget. Football doesn't care about history, tradition, or reputation. It only cares about moments. And last night gave us 3 matches full of them. Here's my final question for you. Which story from last night was the most dramatic? Ronaldo's ban, Italy's collapse, or Parrott's hat-trick? Drop your vote in the comments. Alright, let's wrap this up. Last night, Portugal qualified with 9 goals, but Ronaldo might miss the entire World Cup. Italy needed 9 goals, got 1, and watched Haaland destroy their dreams in 2 minutes. And Troy Parrott completed a hat-trick in injury time to break Hungary's heart and keep Ireland alive. This is why we love football. The drama, the heartbreak, the moments that define careers and nations. Now here's what I need from you. Hit that subscribe button on Cyberboot and turn on notifications. We're covering football's biggest nights with the analysis and storytelling they deserve. Drop a comment answering this. Do you think Ronaldo will actually miss the entire 2026 World Cup? And can Italy finally end their playoff curse? Tell me, who was your player of the night? Haaland for his 2-minute double, Parrott for his injury time heroics, or Bruno Fernandes for his hat-trick? Let me know below. This is Cyberboot. We are building a community of fans who understand that football is about more than just results. It's about the stories, the emotions, and the moments that stay with us forever. Subscribe, comment, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, remember, in football, anything can happen. And last night, everything happened.